Mr. Tijerina, thank you for coming to
No,
VNT.
thank you, sir. I appreciate it very much for having me.
Mr.
Very.
Tijerina, can you give me a little bit of your background?
I actually was born and raised right here in Laredo, Texas. I was born in 1974. I'm a 1974 model. I 41 years old, probably the youngest county judge that that there has been so far. I'm a 23rd county judge. As far as my background is concerned, I went to elementary in Victoria, Texas. My dad had a little work over there, and so Calero Creek Power Plant. So when we moved back, I was 5 years old when we moved to Victoria, came back, and I went to Memorial Middle School my 6th grade year. Then I went to Lamar, and then I graduated from Nixon in 1992. I'm a green and gold, proud Mustang, through thick and thin. And so then I got the opportunity and the privilege to play professional baseball. Very honored, and I did that for 5 years with the Milwaukee Brewers. And in 1997 was pretty much, or 98, my last year. I went back to TAMU. My wife was kind of funny because she told me that I was being a hypocrite. And I used to go to all these high schools and all these students and tell them that they got to get their education. And I didn't have mine. And so she said, for your children and for you, so I started out for my children, and I'll tell you, when I got my education in 2002 and I graduated from TAMU in 2002, that was the best feeling in the world because nobody could ever take that piece of paper away from me. So I graduated with a fitness and sports degree with a minor in criminal justice in 2002, and here I am.
Now you're the judge.
I've been married 21 years. I got married in 1994, have 4 beautiful children. My daughter, Bonnie Jean, is 18 years old. She goes to United High School. She's a senior. She'll be playing at Our Lady of the Lake. She's a big softball player, and she's going to go and take her talents to Our Lady of the Lake in San Antonio. My son, Tano, he is a freshman in United High School. He's a big boy. He's probably a little taller than I am already.
Really?
Yes, he's 15 years
If
old.
you are tall.
I'm 6'3", yes. I wear a 14 shoe, and he's wearing a 14, 15 shoe, and he's got bigger hands than I do. He's a big boy.
No.
And then I have 2 younger ones that are 10 years old, and they're from Guatemala. We adopted them from Guatemala.
Really?
We adopted them. The first one was at 6 weeks old, and the second one was at 6 months old. And they've been with us. They're 10 years old now, so they've been with us ever since.
What is your job as the Webb County judge?
What does it entail? It is basically the easiest way that I could explain it is the CEO of the county. It'd be like a CEO of a bank, CEO of a company. He's a chief executive officer. I deal with the everyday I tell everybody this, I use this analogy. I deal from toilet paper, Kleenexes, to millions and millions of dollars a contract. And it literally, in a day, I deal with that kind of stuff. I deal with all the elected officials. I deal with all the department heads. We have 27 department heads. When I say elected officials, as far as the county's concerned, we have from the sheriff, the DA, all the district judges, all the county courts, all the constables. We have all the JPs. So I deal with all those people. And then I also deal with the 27 departments, which could be from road and bridge, could be from as far as building and maintenance. We have planning and zoning. We have so many departments. And so I deal with those on a daily basis.
Is it difficult?
It is a difficult job. I'm not going to say it's not. I really, really enjoy it. I love what I'm doing. I have a lot of energy. I thank God that I'm young, or at least I feel young. I'm getting a couple of gray hairs right here. And then but at the end of the day, it's not something to be taken lightly. I don't take it lightly. I'll tell you this much. I work very hard for the people that have voted me in. I owe that to the people. And I think it's se lo merece. Laredo y el condado de Webb se lo merece. We deserve somebody that's going to be knocking on the doors, not only in Austin, but also in Washington. So it's really, really important. So I take this job very, very important.
Do you go often to Washington, D.C.?
Yes, actually. Well, we just went last month, and as it looks like, I'll be going back in May for some more knocking on doors. Yes, to try to get some federal monies.
And do you work, where do you, what people do you see in Washington?
Well, like for instance, I had some meetings with FEMA. You know, I had meetings with the Department of Agriculture. I had different meetings with different people depending on which monies and grants we're trying to find. And so, you know, it's, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I wish I kind of felt it was a little bureaucratic. I thought it could be a little bit better. I thought it was gonna be, I'm one of those guys that I wanna get things done. And so when I see a system in place that has a lot of barriers, I sometimes get a little bit flustered because I want to work for the people as quickly and promptly, and sometimes government doesn't allow you to do that.
Mr. Tijerina, how do you help local students of Laredo? How do you want to help them?
Well, and this is one of the main reasons why I am here today is I think it's really, really important, and I think I could connect a little bit more with the youth, being the youngest county judge. And I say I'm 41, but I still feel like I could connect with them, having children, you know, that are still in high school. So I get to ask them a lot of questions as well, young adults. What we're trying to do is a quality of life. You know, everybody uses this term, and I really don't like it when they say there's nothing to do in Laredo, it's boring, I want to go somewhere else, I want to do this. Well, look, the grass is not always greener everywhere you go. You know, I play professional baseball. I got to tour all the United States. I got to go and play in Canada. I got to play everywhere. And it's not green everywhere. It's tough, and it's what you make of it. I'll tell you, when I decided to run for county judge, what got me was my dad, exactly the question that you asked is, I want to see this, I want to see that, I want to be able to do this. And my dad says, well, son, why don't you put up or shut up? He goes, if you're going to talk about it, why don't you do something about it? Why don't you run for a government seat where you could do something? So going back to your students, I go and visit a lot of schools. I love to motivate young adults like yourself, that I think it's incredible and empowering what you're doing, because at your age, I wasn't even thinking of this. I'll be honest with you, I never thought I was going to be doing what I'm doing right now. And so when I see somebody your age doing what they're doing, acting the way you're acting as a professional manner, it really encourages me, because Laredo and Webb County, we're going somewhere, and we're going to get somewhere. You all are our next leaders, and so when I go and speak to these schools, I think it's important that we give that encouragement, and so that's what we work hard to do, we strive to do.
What challenges do Webb County have right now?
I think the number one, there's variations and different challenges, and I'm going to try to hit them all as many as I can. Webb County needs a bigger jail. Webb County needs more infrastructure. Webb County needs more projects of quality of life. Webb County needs so many different things around. I mean, we are the #1 inland port in the United States of America. What's our bread and butter? You know, so obviously it's logistics. We do $2.64 billion a year in Laredo and Webb County alone last year. That's how much money was brought in from import-exports. And so I think it's important that we have the infrastructure. You know, the loop right now, with all the roads and the bridges and everything like that, need to be worked on. There is a lot of important issues that need to be tackled right now, and I think we just need to move forward. As far as internally right now, the biggest challenge that I have, we're dealing with a $12 million deficit. You know, we've already been told, because oil and gas prices gone down, it's one of the biggest that we've seen in Webb counties, you know, in a very, very long time. $12 million. Last year we had a $3 million, and it was hard enough. Now this year, losing $12 million, you know, it's a difficult task to do. Then we have the DA. The DA's busting at the seams. He has 80 people, and he has a floor there at the Justice Center, and we need to get him out. Patricia Barrera, also our tax collector, She needs another building. So we have to do all these buildings, and we have to look at all these growth needs because the county's growing so fast. I want everybody to understand that we're at 260,000 population. 20 years from now, when you're going to be 38, 39 years old, which you're going to be probably around my age, Webb County is going to be 500,000 people. That's beautiful. There's going to be so much potential and growth here. We're not stopping Webb County anymore. It's not that sleepy little town. But how do we get there? What do we do right now? How do we get those monies? Those are the challenges that we have to face every day.
How do you work with the city of Laredo, with Mr. Pete Sainz as the mayor and other councilmen?
Well, I think I value the mayor very much so. He's actually a very good friend of mine, even before he was mayor. And now that he's during mayor, him and his wife, Melva, and his kids, I know all of them. He was an attorney, so he actually did some work for us and the family. So I've known him for a while. I think he's doing a wonderful job. I think he's trying really hard. It's difficult at times being in the spotlight, because you're not going to please everybody. But as far as what he's doing, I think it's encouraging. It's a breath of fresh air to me. I also think that we're working very good with the city of Laredo. Chuy Olivares and the councilmen, I think we're doing we're taking different approaches, and I think this time we're actually doing some projects together, and I think it's important.
How many people work with you, Mr. Tijerina?
In my particular office?
Yes.
In my particular office, it's 7 of us. And I have Ms. Cordy Valdez, which is basically my executive assistant. She's the one that answers a lot of the phone calls. She's the one that makes all my agenda. She's the one that does my scheduling, make sure that I'm here and make sure that I'm there. She's always wanting to make sure that I'm promptly on time. I like to be on time. Forgive me for I was 10 minutes late today, but I'm very much one of those guys that like to be on time. And so I have her. I have Miss Betty. She also answers phones. She's just part of a lot of the budget as well. I have Miss Melinda Mata. Melinda actually is my court coordinator. When we have an agenda item, she's the one that everybody goes to, and she's the one that sets the agenda. Since I'm the chair, I'm the county judge, I'm the one that says yes or no to what goes on the agenda. Then I have Mara Mendez, my PIO. She's the one that takes care of me in the media. She's the one that works, with the media very closely and makes sure it's on, for instance, I came out on the paper yesterday twice. Today I came out. Well, today was because of her, because we had a town hall meeting, so she sends a press release, media alert, and so it gets printed if they have room. So all those little things, and so make sure that we're getting out the message. And then my main guy, my right hand guy, I like to call him, is Lalo Uribe. He's my executive administrator. He's the one that's him and I actually went to school in Lamar and Nixon together, and here we are again. And he's got my back. He's my main guy. And I have a bailiff, which is my bodyguard, basically. He just left. He's in another department now. And I'm not going to fill that spot because of the hard times that we're going through. And so we're going to go ahead and not fill it for a while. I think it's important. How am I going to tell somebody to give something up when I haven't done it myself? So it's very important. So I have 7 people, but we have about 1,600 employees in Webb County.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yes.
Mr. Tijerina, this question I need to ask you. What is your opinion on Donald Trump?
He's a character, isn't he? Donald Trump, and I just want to make this for the record, when he came to Laredo, I was invited. And I was supposed to be there with them, and I was supposed to go with the mayor and the city of Laredo. I didn't like it. I didn't go. At 12 o'clock, I was supposed to be there at 12:15 in the city hall. At 12 o'clock, I decided I was going to go eat lunch, and I was going to go eat some buffalo wings because that's what I felt like eating that day. I watched it on TV, and I thought it was a circus. I didn't like that Donald Trump was using us as a political ploy. That's my way I felt. I'm not saying that whoever, like the mayor and Chuy and all those people, they have to go do their thing, and I appreciate them very much for doing it. I have no problems with that. I just, to me, if Donald Trump wanted to know a little bit more about the border, my office is open. I have an opportunity to present it to him. I'll sit here in a private meeting with him and talk to him. Now, what do I think about Donald Trump? I think he's been very successful. I am not going to bash him for failing. He's had some, he's obviously had some mistakes in life when it comes to financial. He's had bankruptcy about 3 or 4 times. But you know what? I think that makes the guy a lot more powerful in a sense because we learn from our failures, not from our triumphs. And people don't realize that. So I actually kudo the guy. I give him a little bit more credit because at least he knows what not to do. And he's a very successful man. Obviously, he's got a lot of money. And I don't know that makes you successful in some people's eyes, but I mean, that obviously he's doing well for himself. But as far as what I think of him, as far as a presidential candidate, there's a lot of things that I agree with him. There are a lot of things that I do agree with him. I think that this country is lacking a backbone, and I think he wants to restore that. I think we need to have a backbone in this country. I think the current president, to me, has been a little bit lackadaisical. I think we've become second best to all the other countries in the world. You know, I don't agree with that. I think that the United States of America should stand proudly, should stand boldly like that flag waves. And at the end of the day, we need to show who we are. And I think we should not be bowing down to any country. And I think that we have done that too much lately. And that's why nobody's taking us seriously. Our number one thing, our military, he's cut all the funding. He's done a lot of stuff that's hurt us in that aspect. So I don't like that. So that in part I do like. I don't like the fact that he's too pompous, too arrogant at times. I feel that it's all about him. I think he needs to remember and realize that if he's going to be a president, he is for all the people. It doesn't matter what color, brown, yellow, black, or white. It doesn't matter how much money you have in your pocket. It matters what you stand for and what this country stands for. We've lost those values. So I think I think right now our candidates are too far to the right, too far to the left. I think somewhere in the middle is where we need to be.
Do you think he's going to be the next president of the United States?
The way they're talking right now is that he's going to have trouble even at the Republican primary convention because it looks like they're not going to, the delegates, he's still lacking some delegate votes, and I don't know if he's going to get there. And right now, Colorado just gave a bunch to Ted Cruz, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see because I don't know if he's going to get there, and it's going to be very disappointing to a lot of people in the United States because we have a democracy, we have a democratic process, and that's to go vote. And by the way, I encourage everyone to go vote. But one of the things that I'm seeing is that he has millions more votes than Ted Cruz, yet the delegates are getting closer and closer together. So they might not give it to him and give it to Ted Cruz, and it's actually going to be pretty interesting to see. But do I think, I'm going around your question, do I think he's going to be the next president of the United States? I can't answer that. I really don't know. I do know that if he is the next president of the United States, I am not going to be in favor of the wall that he wants to build between Mexico and the United States. I think that's a major disappointment to me. I will be very, very vocal about it. If he is president of the United States, I hope that he becomes more presidential. And I hope he understands that he needs to be and not to be so bold and so strong as far as talking about the way he talks about women and things like that. So he has to be careful.
Do you see next year as a girl as a president? Hillary Clinton?
I don't know if Hillary Clinton, there is, and if you're going to ask me, in my opinion, I think she's got some work to do. I think she, especially with Bernie Sanders, nobody gave Bernie Sanders a chance. And Bernie Sanders right now is actually neck to neck with Hillary Clinton. Everybody thought that Hillary Clinton was going to be the next president of the United States, but she can't even separate herself from Bernie Sanders. And I think a lot has to do with that trust factor because of all those emails, what happened with those confidential emails and all that. So it's going to be very interesting to see. But, at the end of the day, I'm really nobody to be, saying anything about it. The people are going to decide. The people are the ones that are going to have their opinion, which we all are, and I encourage everyone to go vote and cast their vote. I will tell you this, what it is going to do come November, we're actually going to have probably, in my opinion, we're going to have record number of people going out to vote. Record number of people that have never voted, and it's going to be very interesting. People that have voted Republican are going to be voting Democrat, Republican, Republican. So the two parties are going to intertwine a little bit. This presidential.
Latinos, do you think Latinos are going to vote? Because it's a major problem in the United States. That
Latinos will go vote. I think we pretty much, I just think that we have to continue being a voice. I'm a very proud Latino. I'm very proud to be Hispanic. I'm very proud to be an American. I think we have to continue voicing ourselves. One of the things that I'm for, though, is we have to make sure that we do what we have to do and keep moving forward. I think Latinos is going to be a very strong and powerful voice.
anything else you want to add, Mr. Tijerina?
Well, I appreciate this. Again, I am in awe with just sitting here talking to a 16-year-old.
Yes.
A 16-year-old. 16 years old, I was just thinking of baseball and a bat. And to see what you're doing, I admire your teachers as well. And thank y'all for what y'all are doing here at VMT. I'm very proud of you all. I stand on sacred grounds because I'm right next to my alma mater, Nixon Mustang. So I'm very honored and privileged to be here. Thank you so much. Very humbling.
Thank you, Mr. Tijerina.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.